Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 764 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined today blah, 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 by Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
And Chris DeBona.
Hi.
Gentlemen, this is our first stream of 2023.
It's true.
Oh, we get to go back to stories that were from New Year's Eve that we never got around to
Or
posting.
actually, before Christmas, we've got some.
Yeah. No, I had a couple.
The last
Christmas
one we
Eves.
did was this one here, 18 days ago. So I think that's second.
You could be right. I know we had the glow in the dark keyboard. That was the last one that I was super excited because or not glow in the dark, the one with the screen underneath it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Where is that?
I don't know. It's hard to tell since we never seem to have our Reddits sorted the same.
Okay, how are you?
Which is strange because there's two options.
New or
Just
hot?
pick one of the two.
New or hot?
I'm currently sort of let me switch. I'm going to switch to new because especially today we've got so much stuff and then I'll go back
with L3. Okay.
I'm going back to reality. All right. Did we do teen mom discovered cyberbully was her mother?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
You think you can keep going down?
Well, we saw that one. We didn't talk about that one though. No. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We it's been a long time. It's been 3 weeks, man.
All right, let's start with Teen Mom.
I missed you guys. Well, now I don't even remember what the story was. But this is what it is, right?
Well, I think that the headline says it all.
Yeah, and in classic /dot fashion, we've read enough.
Yeah, I can tell
you had me a
everything
Teen
about
Mom
that story now.
Yeah.
Go for it.
This reminds me of I Love My Dad.
Hawaiian petroglyphs that we found in a book of. So your dad was a cyberbully for you?
No, I'm talking about.
Would you like to show me
I
on
Love
the
My Dad
where you were touched? Oh, okay.
Dude.
Also, I'm not shaped like a glasses container.
Well, I mean,
I don't know what you got going on
I
down
don't have
there.
a doll
But,
on my desk, right?
There are more bumps on me.
I have action figures probably.
A Michigan woman. This is local.
I think this is why I actually put it up there.
Yeah. Beale City. Is that close to y'all?
I don't know where Beale City is.
Oh, it's in Isabella County. So it's up north.
That makes sense.
North of Lansing.
Near the Lansons. I found the high school where she did her cyberbullying.
Good for her.
Oh, yeah. So it's northeast of Grand Rapids. Yeah, north of
So
Lansing.
is what happened was that she was a troll because we call that cyberbullying now? Or is it more?
I think so.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I think so.
/dot bullying.
Yeah. She was not a good person. Let's see. Oh, we have the Twitter story. There's a few Twitter stories, but we have the promotion of alternatives. This is how far back we are. They put up the thing that you're not allowed to mention Mastodon, and then they changed their mind. You are allowed to mention Mastodon now because what the actual?
Oh, page doesn't exist anymore. Go figure.
Yeah. So they had a policy, and then they put it on. So the only reason I think that I shared this is that
it's so funny.
Well, okay, so Elon makes the edict, right? Like in some meeting, we can't allow this anymore, right?
Oops.
And then somebody had to go quick write that document.
Like a sucker.
And then put it up, and then the entire
And then he fired the writer.
Maybe. Well, and I think that was ultimately what started triggering like that huge growth spike on Mastodon. So I'm on Mastodon now. I now have 10% of my followers moved over to Mastodon. So after that happens, then they pulled it right back down. Like that person had a really bad day. I feel bad for that person.
I agree. They did have a bad day.
So we've got the next story was the artists fed up with AI image generators. So they started trying to generate pictures of Mickey Mouse in order to get copyright lawsuits. And this is kind of the current thing, right? Because some courts are ruling that you can't copyright AI generated imagery.
That's right. There's
But
been
what
a-
happens if you use an AI generator to create something that is basically Mickey Mouse? You can you have it both ways?
There, there was a related story today about a guy who was posting art on some subreddit and got banned because the mod there was like, this is a computer generated image. This is AI created. He's like, nope, that's me. I did it in Photoshop. This is just what I do. And he's like, I don't believe you. It became a big thing,
Yep.
Wow.
and he was banned. They pulled his submission, and then a whole bunch of digital artists rallied around him, and the
And it turned
mod
out
wrote
he
a little.
had used AI the whole time.
No, he actually made it, but he posted. I guess the mod sent him a really shitty message about why it got pulled. So they've been retweeting it and making it a meme, and
As you
yeah,
do.
as you do.
Yeah, that
So I
one.
hate to be the wet blanket, but this specific story, it's not about transcending copyright. That's a trademark image.
Well,
So
okay.
it doesn't matter if it's recreated by an artisan or an AI. The mouse is still going to win.
Well, the mouse always wins. There's a
The
reason
mouse always
that Mickey Mouse
the
is
mouse
still
always
not in the
wins.
public domain. But I don't think I actually posted it, but they did have the big list of things that came out into the public domain
Yeah,
for
apparently Steamboat
2023.
Willie is now in the public domain.
Uh, I don't remember the tune.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
we'll
know
get
the
a
tune.
copyright strike.
Yeah, we'll get copyright strike
We
for
whistled
four notes of
the-
my whistling. That's
from
how it
the-
ends.
From
That's
the
how it ends.
1924.
That's right.
Cartoon. Yeah.
Okay, we have the Oppenheimer trailer. This seems like a Chris DeBona.
Yeah, I'll watch this, I think.
You think?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's Christopher Nolan, but he's actually working with something historical. So, yeah.
So that'll be okay.
Yeah.
Because as we've discussed, I think Tenet is awesome.
It's so weird that, Matt Damon is playing
Ugh.
Groves. I'm not sure about that.
The trailer doesn't look like it's anything special, although I did read they were talking about how they had to construct special cameras and they actually set off giant explosions. And they built special cameras to capture high-speed footage.
Oh, wow.
So that'll
That
be
seems
interesting.
excessive,
But
okay.
that's kind of the thing that I groove on about Chris
Yeah.
Nolan is that
He
he's at the
doesn't-
place
he doesn't
where
do shit halfway.
oh, Magnum disagrees with Tenet. Oh, he's so wrong. No,
What did Magnum say?
he just doesn't think Tenet is awesome, which means he fails.
Which means he's a discerning human being.
That's right.
That's right.
That's fine. No, he's a guy who's like, the studio's going to give me $200 million to make my movie. I'm going to figure out something awesome to do with it. And maybe it'll just be using IMAX cameras, and maybe it'll be building sets and miniatures, or maybe it'll be making a weird haiku riddle of a film. But he gets to do something cool, and he's building his cool camera, and good for that guy, man.
I heard that he built his own nuclear weapon and
Yeah.
exploded it. The studio's like, whatever you want, Nolan. Whatever
Whatever.
you want.
But you just got to
You're
choose.
making us that money. So my question is he wearing like sunscreen or?
Yeah, he's
what's going
got
on here?
SPF 10,000 on.
Well, I mean, they actually did this.
It looks
That's
gooey.
what they.
Trinity
Yeah,
explosion. So
right.
at Alamogordo.
Yep.
So they're like, we don't know what's gonna happen. Let's put on some sunscreen.
We don't want to get sunburned. Let's stand a mile away from all this radiation.
We might blow up the planet. We might ignite the atmosphere. We might just get a sunburn.
I love that, when they were talking about doing the test over the atolls, that there was a small group of physicists who theorized that they would actually convert all the water in the ocean. They would split it and it would be a giant explosion. There were a bunch of scientists are like, what's going to happen? Like, well, we're pretty sure all the water on the earth is going to split and explode.
Well, there were folks that thought the ionosphere was going to get vaporized too.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and some of it did.
That's true.
But I don't. The ionosphere getting blowed up. But I was more thinking like, how much tritium and deuterium is in seawater close enough to the criticality of the event? Right?
That stuff's down at
close
the
enough to get
bottom.
really close.
That stuff's at the.
No,
I thought that the tritium and stuff is like lower down where it's.
I
Like
think
at the bottom
tritium
of the
maybe,
ocean.
but deuterium, it's not heavy water enough to sink.
We've talked about this before, right? My
Have we?
association with this is that heavy water was a plot point in a G.I. Joe cartoon in the 80s.
G.I. Joe.
Yep. And so like Destro needed to get heavy water. And so like that's forever, like that lives rent free in my brain forever.
Well, that's great.
That's right. The more I know.
There was no
Perfect.
firework.
You're muted.
Yes.
So the Final Mouse centerpiece keyboard. I actually got a new keyboard this week.
You did?
I did. I got a K2 Pro from Keychron. It's a half height. It's a low profile keyboard. I had the exact same keyboard but in full height, but it was too high for my wrists to comfortably fit. So I got a half height, and it's great. I love it. But that keyboard looks like absolute nonsense, and I kind of love it.
It's basically a Stream Deck, right? It's just a screen under a bunch of transparent crap.
I mean, I'd argue that that's not a Stream Deck.
That's what a Stream Deck is. You don't have individual displays under every key. It's
yes,
just
you
one
do.
display.
A Stream Deck is just little itty bitty OLEDs.
I thought it was one screen behind them.
No, it's little tiny screens.
Stream Deck tear down.
There's no way that it's a big screen because the lights move. I'm not going to press the buttons because if I is that shows that I know.
Yeah, I mean that's all that this other keyboard is. So it's just a Stream Deck but big and wide, So.
Well, I didn't know that that's how a Stream Deck works. Now I feel like I need a refund.
Well, so do you remember how there was an art collective that did a keyboard that was literally individual OLEDs?
Yeah.
And they were like $1,600.
Yeah. We posted stories about those all the time because my tastes have not changed in 25 years.
It's true. We got the small version of it at ThinkGeek, and so I played with it for a while, and it was chunky as F.
Yeah.
Tell you, that's the Steam Deck, not the Stream Deck. Okay.
That's a different deck.
But the Stream Deck teardown is there. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Now you know.
Now I'm going to build a bigger one, I think.
I'm sorry I ruined things for you.
No, now I think I could build a full-sized one.
Yeah, totally. Let's 3D print one up, buddy.
There you
go. Watch some Zach, what's his name? Void Star Labs.
Somebody has to have done it.
Have fun.
Somebody has to have. Although with the Stream Deck, I hate to say it, I think it's kind of the software because the software is really stupid easy. Sure. Although the one thing is that, and I said this, I think in channel, there was an update to it and it broke the Discord plugin. So now when I pressed the stream button, it didn't do my throw the tomatoes message.
Wow.
I know, so I got to figure that out. I know. Like, come on, this worked for 2 years? It's the only thing for Geeks in Space that worked 2 years where I didn't break it.
I was talking to the people, I guess it's Corsair that owns them now, and they were like, who we hate is Commander Taco.
Hate that
Rob
guy.
Malda.
Personally.
He doesn't know it, but my mom is the woman with the Hello Kitty laptop.
Oh.
They're very upset.
That checks out. So the Roomba recorded
Rob,
photos.
are you able to hear us? I noticed you did a headphone check. Uh-oh. Are you speaking words?
We've lost Rob.
Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Rob.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There you go. I was very worried because our first stream back and I can't hear my precious.
Technical difficulties already.
On Geeks in Space?
Over my magical headphones, which I was just talking.
Have you charged them yet?
I have not charged these headphones yet.
What are they at? What's the battery say?
When I turn them on, it says 100% charged. And
that's nonsense.
Obviously, that's nonsense. But I've legitimately had these headphones since June?
Yes.
June or July.
And you've never charged them. You've never plugged them in.
I have never plugged them in. I've never charged them. When I turn them on, they say 100%, which has to be a lie. Maybe but they're still working.
Maybe they charge
from 100% to 0 in 4 seconds. But
maybe they have the thing, how watches can recharge with your swinging arm. Maybe they.
I actually wondered if they had that in here, but they don't. I looked. So I have no idea. And the weird thing is, I was thinking about other day because I went to look for the charging cord and I couldn't find it. So
it's not a special charging cord, is it?
I would. Well,
it might be. It doesn't ever need to be charged. You have to charge it with deuterium.
Yeah, I probably have to get a little piece of scroll to actually interconnect. between the electrical source and it.
Yep, you
Yeah,
have to inject
considered,
tritium.
It's magic.
yeah, it's Dr. Oppenheimer's headphones.
Mhm.
That's right. The Roomba recorded photos, that's from a while back, but I mean, that story wasn't as big of a thing as it sounded like by the headlines, just because it was the photos that were being leaked apparently were from people who were using like dev software. So yeah, it's shitty that it got online, but they were using the test software.
Yeah, and they'd actually opted into the
Yeah,
test as
like,
well. And
I mean, it's definitely a security leak, but it's not like the Roombas were,
well, and the people who saw them were the testers in, I guess, India or
but the testers
Bangladesh,
apparently
whatever.
leaked. There was a leak somehow.
Yeah, they were like, "This is the best shot I've seen so far," and it's like, "Oh man, you're a creep."
Right? Can you imagine
So
the
AI was their contractor.
yeah?
So
Some
Scale
pervert
AI
is like, I got the
doesn't have
best
that kind of-
job ever.
I mean, honestly, they should just shut Scale AI down. I mean, if they have that little
Yeah, that's creepy.
oversight, that's not good. That's some, you move fast, now you're broken.
Yep, you did it.
How could you ever trust that company?
You did it. The South Park guys did. I don't know if you saw this a couple of years ago. They did their Sassy Justice deepfake TV show.
I did not see it.
It's not worth. I mean, whatever. It's a
It's not
deepfake.
good. but-
Well, okay. I really like South Park, and I continue to think that South Park is a reliably funny show. It's not as funny as it always was, but every few episodes they pull out something that I really like. I think Sassy Justice was on the weaker end of South Park, but I think that it was done as a proof of concept. But they got $20 million in funding, and they're going to try to be doing more with it. And I guess our dark future awaits, and I'm glad that South Park is going to be there.
Well, at least the South Park guys will do all right.
Yeah.
I cannot wait until I can replace the main character in Braveheart and watch it on my TV. Wouldn't that be
With
fantastic?
their version of Mel
'Cause-
Gibson.
Because
Yeah, hey, everybody.
that's what they're gonna do probably. The first thing they're gonna be all vanity projects where you can go and insert yourself in a movie.
That would actually be, like the long bets. It would be a fun long bet to say, when can you superimpose your face on, and I'm not saying like a YouTube clip, it's like a show that is new-ish, like something that's streaming live on Netflix came out in the last 12 months, and you can just click a button and put your face on it. How far away are we from that?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because, I mean, less than 10 years. Is it 3? Is it 7? I think the copyright problems are going to be a bigger
I
problem.
don't know.
than-
I just look at like the success of Cameo and how much people love that sort of thing, and I just think it's a no-brainer that at some point
You know where
you
this
would
is gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
you would pay to put yourself in your favorite show or TV just as a vanity thing. right?
Yeah.
So
But
every
that's-
once in a while, we talk about things and we have an idea that I know could make us literally billions. And here it is.
Right?
Here's today's. Okay.
Yeah.
People can put their kids into their favorite kids shows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Right?
I
Imagine, Mom, I'm with Peppa Pig. Mom,
you-
I'm with fucking Scooby Doo or whatever.
we're of a similar age group. So do you remember when you were a kid, there were those books that you could get where your mom would send them like your birth date, your stone and
Oh,
stuff, and it would be
sure.
like so I had one
Yeah.
with Snow White and the Seven Dwarves that I was in, and I just
Snow
thought
White, the Seven Dwarves, and Rob Roosevelt.
and Rob, right?
Yeah.
And I just thought that was the shit when I was a kid. I loved that book,
Sure.
right? And this is just the high-tech version of that.
Yeah, I mean, we could do this tomorrow and probably make billions, retire onto a no deep fake island.
And
you know.
instead, in 3 months, we'll be talking about the company that did it.
Yeah, for sure.
Guaranteed.
Well,
Guaranteed.
in order to get it to work, you've got to be
Shortcuts.
able to do
Not long.
it. You've got to be able to do it on the fly on your GPU locally, because you wouldn't be able to do it like there's no way the copyright stuff could be resolved.
No. I can see the copyright creators saying, wait, so you're saying we can make a couple extra bucks if we have a spot that we designate in the cartoon for the audience?
Oh, that's an
Sure,
interesting
okay.
question. So what happens?
so-
What happens first? The thing where you have a plugin for VLC, and you say replace this face with this face, and it can do it on your GPU in a real enough time that it's enjoyable, or the version of this where you scan your face with an app, and then say, now watch Netflix, replacing Joe's face with this
Put
face.
me in.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach.
Which of those two things happens first?
The first one, I think, because
the
also
first one, I'd imagine you can do that already. Using movie matching in Blender, you can do that right now.
I imagine the first one, they would let it go until it became pretty solid and reliable, and then someone would try to monetize it and make it their own and keep everyone else from doing it. That's the way it is.
on that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of facial recognition, which you need, there's the story in here about the facial recognition software, and somebody got kicked out of.
Did we talk about this?
We did talk about
Did
this,
we?
so I don't know. Why
All right,
it got mixed up in there.
everything's all weird. Did we talk about the Rocketdyne story? I don't know about that one.
No, I don't think anyone really cares about that. So
all right, biogel armor.
Biogel armor can stop supersonic projectiles in its tracks. Sure, okay, why not? Sounds pretty cool.
We talked about Krevel getting Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. That charming bastard.
LastPass security breach. The paint by numbers Mars thing is actually kind of neat if you haven't looked at it.
I think that's worth the time, but probably, it's pretty obvious what it is from the,
Well, pop it up and show the picture at least.
Here we go.
They literally took the data and they had a dude with pastels paint it in. Because in the 60s and 50s, things were different.
Wow, look at that.
Isn't that cool?
Just had the luminance numbers to work with.
Yeah, and he was guessing at the colors.
Wow, that's cool.
I think that's neat.
I imagine that somebody there is like, this isn't going to help that whole the moon landing was faked argument, right? It's like,
you know what? I disagree, because they're showing you what the technology was like in like 1962, and you're really telling me that we faked the moon landing 7 years later when we literally were using crayons.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the hoaxers that I could never understand. It's like, dude, you didn't even believe the Phantom Menace. You know what I mean? That was in the 90s. That didn't look real. Like,
wait, was that a documentary?
Yeah, the documentary, The Phantom Menace, about the Gungans and their genocide. So the Twitter story that was up next.
There's always a Twitter.
There's always a Twitter story. They're apparently they cut the janitors. So now the employees have to bring their own toilet paper.
So there's a conference in Brussels at the Free University of Brussels called FOSDEM, the free and open source something, right? And what I tell my employees who want to go is like, there's only one thing: you need to take your own toilet paper. They're like, what? And I'm like, no, seriously, because there's so many nerds that it's all gone. And the university doesn't replace it until school starts on Monday. And they're like, oh, wow, okay, thanks, But like,
gross.
They all come back and we thought you were kidding. And I'm like, I wasn't kidding. And it's also kind of a stinky conference. There's a lot of coder odor, but it's a great
coder odor. Ouch.
So it is
I like that.
But I have a difficult
time.
You
need to be prepared.
I have a difficult time with the notion of coder odor because A, I have no sense of smell, and B, I live with 2 teenage boys.
Yeah. I mean, I usually feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Except for now,
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, you know what? We got a new kitty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tell me about this cat.
I only wanted to share with you that it has no tail.
Oh, that's right, Stubbs.
It's a rescue cat.
Stubbs.
And it has no tail.
Did you end up coming with a good name?
I didn't get to name it. It's named Nougat. I fought hard for Detail. I thought Detail was the perfect name for this kitty, but no.
Franny really liked the name Stubbs.
Stubbs is good too.
Yeah. We came up with some other ones. I think you were yelling at me for them.
Yeah, they were pretty offensive for
they
a cat.
Offensive.
Well, in that they were making fun of this poor cat for having no tail. Here's the thing that I've learned about
No, we're homaging its lack of tail.
I agree. Here's the thing about the cat with no tail. Its sense of balance or gravity or whatever is wrong. So it's the littlest cat in our house, but wherever it jumps down, it sounds like thunder. Like
Well,
it,
yeah, I imagine not having a counterbalance that you
yeah,
can use to help you affects
yeah.
that quite a bit.
Like all of our other cats, even we have like an 18-pound cat. And when this thing hits the ground, you barely hear it. This thing weighs like 5 pounds, and you can hear it every room in the house when it jumps down from like 2 steps. It's amazing.
I went back to the document. My suggestion of Taylor
Taylor,
Sniff
that's a good one. Taylor
is the
Sniff.
best.
Taylor
Taylor
Sniff.
Sniff. Because
Taylor
they're
Sniff.
always sniffing things. They're
Yep.
cats.
Mhm.
So.
Yep. No, I was not allowed to suggest any more puns based on the cat's disability,
All right.
which is a bummer. Okay, we've got the 20,000-year-old Ice Age drawings. Was this Rob?
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I'm loading it.
Sorry, we skipped over
It turns
one.
out it was
did
of
we?
this
Blew my
guy.
mind.
This guy drew them.
Uh,
Ben Bacon.
no, this story. Remember a while back, we had the story about they determined that a lot of the handprints in these caves were just kids.
Yeah.
and it was my theory how much I loved the idea. So like, there's all sorts of mysticism and religion tied into cave paintings. That's always been the sort of prevailing wisdom.
Right.
Like they would take a psychedelic, go back there and summon the animals or whatever. But with that other cave painting, it was more like, these kids are driving me crazy. Let them go put their hands on the wall, so they'll shut up. And this one is all about, for a while they couldn't figure out what the dots and dashes that they were using were. They thought it was part of some religion. Well, someone took it all, broke it down, and it turns out it's all migration and breeding patterns for these things. So it's literally like
It's
a
kind of
list
amazing.
of when you can go and get these animals. It's like that. It
When you
has
should harvest
nothing.
them. When
Yeah,
you
it's
should respect them.
nothing mystical. It's just completely practical. So all these cave paintings now that they've attached all this other weight to are actually like, this is when you can go get herring, and this is where we put the kids when they won't shut up. you know and that's the cave paintings. It's all,
That's
people are
incredible.
people, even way back then, right?
Yeah.
Right.
uh
That's
so
They're just
awesome.
trying to
yeah,
deal with their kids
Mm.
and
trying to
feed
get
them.
food and deal with their kids.
Yep. That's life, man.
That is pretty much it. Yeah, when I first saw the fish, I was like, "Is that like, hey,
Jonah.
on the third season? I don't know.
Yeah, it goes with lunar cycles.
Yeah,
So they're like, oh,
that's when you can find really great caviar inside
right,
sturgeon. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Huh,
yeah. Okay. Sure. Why
that's
not?
awesome. Well, I'm. You know what? The society that takes notes survives.
That's right. That's right. Do your homework, kids.
That's right. Do your homework. The one we skipped was the Danish bank
Yeah,
celebrating the year without robberies.
Yeah, that's
it just like, there's so little actual cash flow nowadays that
Yeah.
they don't have the reserves they once had. Almost everything's done digitally or online, electronically. So they had finally had a year where it just wasn't worth it for bank robbers, because there weren't giant hordes of cash for them available at the tellers, right? So they're like, all right, we'll
So
make our
in
money someplace else.
2019, the average take from robbing a bank was $4,200.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about risking 20 years,
Well, that explains
right?
why the Fast and the Furious guys were really
Stole the
smart
whole
and they
vault
stole the whole vault. Yeah.
from the drug
Right.
dealers.
From the drug dealer. Yeah. 'Cause
Remember, they were doing the service.
yeah.
to
Well,
people.
that's how you know they're superheroes, because they were robbing from bad people.
Yeah, they were like
Yeah.
Robin Hood, stealing
Right.
from the rich bad guys and giving it to, um,
Oh yeah, themselves.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like their friends and stuff too. Their, you know, immediate families,
So,
that sort of thing.
can I tell you my theory? So the Italian Job with Jason Statham, technically, it was before Fast and the Furious. I don't think Fast and Furious would have happened without it, though.
So you think it's a prequel?
I think it was the template. I think it's a prequel. There you
All
go.
right. That makes sense.
I think it's the template for
right.
all the successful Fast and Furious movies.
I buy that. So we got a good story here
Do we?
about the Congressman Robert Garcia, who rather than taking his
That was
congressional
something.
oath on a Bible, took it on a Superman comic.
An early one too.
So good for that guy. I've always been like the notion of swearing on a Bible has never appealed to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
if you're gonna pick a piece of fiction, why not Superman? You know?
exactly. For me, it would probably be like a a Star Wars Blu-ray or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, swear on something that you believe in.
I don't know. Maybe the first copy I ever had of The Hobbit, or
Monster Manual.
That's a good one.
Rob, you
oh
swear on the
yeah,
Monster Manual.
Monster Manual would probably be it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had
was
that
a
thing
good one,
memorized in second grade.
for sure.
that's
The
important.
entire book.
I got cool dice over the break.
That's cool.
I got some new dice. I'm gonna get them. You guys talk.
Oh, he's gonna get his dice. I bet they roll to various numbers. I have some dice right here that are made of wood. So in case I ever need to roll dice, I have wood dice.
The sucker's metal.
Oh, nice.
Is it heavy?
It's heavy as hell. I can't use it on a good table.
Yeah, you'd ruin the table.
Leave dents. And then I got these plastic dice. So
Yeah.
I have one D20 that's like the size of like a plum, and it's made of metal, and it's so heavy that I've never rolled it for real on a real table because I'm afraid I would take a chunk out of a table.
Yeah, you don't want to dent it and get in trouble.
What's the super heavy metal that people like buy as a novelty toy?
Like tungsten?
It's not tungsten.
Bismuth?
I don't remember what it is. If you go to
lead,
it might be tungsten.
But no, I think it's bismuth.
But they buy cubes like as a fidget toy. I was just thinking you could make dice out of that and really cause a problem. We've got a story here. Oh no, we got some darker stuff here.
Whoa, really?
Doncaster,
dark?
the surgery place that sends cancer texts. This is a Rob story.
I can't remember what the text was supposed to be. It was like some holiday message, and they screwed it up and told everyone who goes there that they have inoperable lung cancer.
Oops.
Whoopsie.
Aggressive lung cancer.
Merry Christmas.
And then they're like, "Oh, our bad.
Oops.
We only meant to send that message to Carol. All the rest of you are fine." You know?
Sorry, Carol.
There's like one person who really had it too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And they got this one, the next one, and then said, except for you.
Oh, just kidding, but not for you.
Hey, everyone step forward who's got aggressive lung cancer. Now everyone step back.
Not you, Carol.
Not
hey, Carol.
So fast, Carol.
That's horrifying.
NHS, not their greatest hour.
We've got a funeral homeowner who was sentenced to 20 years for selling body parts.
Yes.
Without permission. Remember.
Oh, good. I'm glad we clarified.
Not having permission.
That she actually was this is sentenced because she just got her sentence not that long ago.
She looks like she might sell body parts.
She looks like she's one of the people who doesn't want to make cakes for gay people. It's like
for sure.
Cliff notes.
She just wants to.
I mentioned actually. I wanted to actually say this. Cliff just said in the channel that he would swear on a Superman comic, and he was the one that I thought of when I read that headline. I was like, Cliff would do that. Cliff would 100% do that. That lady, man, yeah, that's some hair too. I wonder how long it takes her to do that.
Oh, you know how long this is. This is standard mom in West Michigan that we grew up with.
Yeah.
Although you've seen this exact woman a dozen times, right?
1,000 times.
With hairspray, is it teasing? What is that? How do you have like a helmet?
Most likely hairspray, not mousse.
Yeah, definitely hairspray.
And you got to do that thing where you're like doing this for a long time.
Yes.
We got a story about
curlers.
We got a story about pub crawling Santas getting an armored vehicle stuck in a hedge.
That one is just, to me, that like the picture.
Is there anything pub crawling Santas can't do?
Like, imagine rolling up on that when you're the cops and you get a call. Yeah, the road is blocked. A bunch of Santas in an armored vehicle are stuck. They're all wasted.
So it's a day ending in a Y.
Yep.
The lane was blocked for 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah.
That reminds me of a series of things that I wanted to mention movie-wise ahead of Christmas that we didn't get to. Violent Night. It's okay. But Yule Log, you need to watch because it's extraordinarily great.
Yule log.
Violent Night is fine. It's exactly what you think it would be. It's very by the numbers. It's got some really awesome kills.
Is it a movie?
Yeah.
Yule Log. So Yule Log was this weird thing. It was done kind of in secret. It was like done for super no budget. And
Is it the Adult Swim one?
It's on HBO. Yeah, it's Adult Swim's Yule Log. And I don't want to spoil it, but it's the fireplace videos that you watch. But it becomes a horror movie.
I see.
But not a serious horror movie, but a fucked up funny horror movie by the end. You seriously watch it. It's great.
When did it come out?
Like a week before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
It came out at the same time as all of the Yule logs start appearing on your search engine's streaming interface.
That's kind of great. You know?
Yeah. But they do. I want to talk about it after you guys have seen it.
Okay.
But I don't
Then
want to
we
spoil
will-
it because
let's wait.
It's really worth a watch. And there was a third Christmas horror movie that came out.
One about the robot Santa.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that either.
You're in for some cheesy, funny treats. All three of those
Are
movies
you?
are watchable
Am I?
fun.
But are you?
You will enjoy Yule Log the most of the three.
Yeah. What was the robot one called?
Yeah, I can't remember.
That's how disposable.
Robot Santa movie 2022. Christmas Bloody Christmas.
Christmas Bloody Christmas. Yeah. That's another one of those movies that entirely hangs upon if you enjoy
You better not cry.
the charisma of the two lead actors. But it's basically the Terminator. But the Terminator is a Santa robot that's made by a military. They set it up really great. It opens with a couple of commercials for fake companies, and it's like it's like Cyberdyne Industries, whatever their equivalent is, but they're making these war robots, and then they have to repurpose them as mall Santas. So it's very enjoyable.
Exactly what you think happens.
Exactly.
The kid asks for world peace, and the robots give it to him.
So those are my Christmas stories that I wanted to share with you on Christmas Eve before we didn't stream. We've got a family of alligators in Detroit.
So, again, a day ending in a Y.
Yeah. Right. Well, this has got to be a Rob story.
Yeah, it's because there's a alligator sanctuary just kind of close to Battle Creek called the Critchlaw and Alligator Sanctuary here in Michigan.
Okay.
Because there are so many illegal pets, particularly with drug dealers, from the circle of Chicago through Ohio all the way up to Detroit, and there isn't a place for these, the police to bring these things. So this sanctuary popped up specifically for exotic reptiles that drug dealers would have. So they have snakes, they have tortoises, but mostly they have over 100 crocodiles and alligators there that have been taken. And obviously, this is not an area where alligators and crocodiles do well in the winter.
No.
So, it's a really interesting place to go visit if you haven't ever been down there, Malda.
If I could ever get my children to do anything that wasn't on an iPad, I'd go immediately.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place to visit.
But
anyway, this just reminded me of that how many, what a big problem. It's such a big problem. A place had to spring up to exist
in Michigan.
That's
the crazy part. But now what's this story? They're using alligators to serve eviction notices.
What?
That's what the story says. Family of alligators in Detroit. Oh no, they greet police. I should read all the words.
Yeah, dude. Hey, I think you want to get out of here, or Chompers here is going to move in.
Well, what cracks me up is the idea of alligators as the ultimate process servers.
Yeah.
So you've tried the sheriff, you've tried the special process servers with the flowers and Candygram, but oh, you're served, but then you can only go with an alligator.
We had a friend who did that for a job, didn't we, Rob?
Alligator
Yeah,
summons?
No, served
he
papers.
he didn't have an alligator, just a Toyota Tercel.
But he
Well, maybe
should
he
have.
was an alligator in like I don't know, Detroit Tigers shirt.
No, I'm pretty sure he wasn't an alligator.
Nor was he interested in the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah,
Well,
Uh,
is there a Detroit
or
Gators? I guess
being a
that's probably a
process
Florida
server
thing.
either.
That's true. He didn't care about anything. The
No.
last one that we have on the list is the $11,000
Yeah, the
toilet with
CES story.
Alexa.
Of all the things that happen at CES, this is the one. This is the
This
key
is
one for
I had to include this so that we're pretty good about our toilet
Toilet
coverage,
humors.
right?
There
Our
was
high-tech
4
toilet
different
coverage.
We've
urine
had
measurement systems.
we've had a lot of toilet related stories just this episode.
just right now. Yeah.
I like
Alligators
that
and toilets. That's a
that
funny.
Alexa is built into it, like which is way better than just having Alexa in the room, right?
You know the toilets that you see in public restrooms that have like the infrared sensor that detect that detect when you come and go to trigger the flush?
Yeah.
So there's pictures going around of stickers, and there are people putting stickers on top of the infrared sensors that say "Don't block these." They're monitoring you, like they're police, like they're government sanctioned.
Thanks,
like,
Joe Biden.
There's different variations on that, as if those are cameras that are monitoring. And like I think that's a great troll.
And yet, who wants to buy Roomba that's going around looking at people in the toilet?
Well,
Amazon.
it wasn't that long
Alexa.
ago, right? It wasn't that long ago that there was a story about sensors in your toilet that would measure your movements and detect for things.
Sure.
So really,
this is an old saw in science fiction.
For sure. So really, this is no different. This just now they can stream it on Twitch.
Yeah, now they can do a glucose meter on your pee, and put it on Twitch because that's what everyone wants. So I wanna take a moment to register a protest against the author Alex Krantz of this article. The remote sticks to the wall instead to the side of the toilet, as with most Toto toilets. I'm sorry, the cheap ones maybe. Many Toto toilets come with the remote control bar on the side. The idea that this is the plurality or majority of Toto toilets just shows he didn't do his research.
Did you know? I love that they call those otohimes. It's the princess toilet.
Yes, that's right.
And it might be the best thing in Japan. If I had a power outlet anywhere near my toilet, I assure you, I would have one of those heated seats. They're so great.
They're wonderful. This is we installed one at our place in Palo Alto, and we brought it with us. We're like, yeah, no, you're not getting that toilet.
Yeah, that comes with us.
It's like I'm never leaving that toilet behind.
And honestly, would you want?
I'm sitting on it right now.
I would like to buy a new toilet seat when I move into a new house every time anyway. I don't want somebody else's toilet seat. I don't want to know.
Right?
Sometimes Chris just, unhooks it, puts it in the passenger seat, takes it for a little drive to make sure it's okay.
Yeah, pat it,
Yeah.
Like when we clean it, it's, we get into all the crevices.
Right. No, and it's seen things. It's seen things.
It's seen some shit.
There is CES stories. Do we care about like the new 79, the new non-X Ryzen chips or anything like that? I mean,
I don't care about any of that.
I know you don't.
What stuff at CES do we actually? They had a bunch of toilets. They had
brighter TVs.
They had some less expensive OLEDs.
Yeah.
They had slightly better things than they had last year.
Yeah.
Here's this thing, but now it's slightly better. Buy it again.
Oh, yeah. Here's something I wanted to talk to y'all's about. So all the Blue Yetis, the EcoFlows, the Goal Zeros, they're all coming out with these huge like home backup powers, right?
Yeah.
It is so American, isn't it, to say, as a society, we have failed to provide reliable power to our citizens to the point where it's now a huge part of the electronics landscape.
So I would agree with you to one point. However, what I
Yes.
would also say is if everybody put a giant battery in their garage and some
Mhm.
solar panels on their roof.
No, I agree. Solar is very
Uh,
important. It's not what I'm saying.
No,
Well-
I understand, but the two impair, then you have a distributed grid. You know, no different than the internet. You know,
Yes.
a hub goes down, we route around it. I like that for power.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
the government would let us have Tesla's free energy models and machines, so we could just, beam electricity everywhere and we
Yep.
wouldn't need lines. If the government would just let us have that, it would solve all those problems.
David Bowie told us in one of Chris Nolan's other masterpieces that we should just trust his power plans.
Right.
Prestige was very important.
I need to rewatch that. I haven't watched that. In like
That was
5
actually
years.
a pretty good movie.
I just rewatched Memento over Christmas break. And
Was that Nolan as well?
Yep.
Yep.
But Prestige is the other one that I've been really wanting to rewatch. Is there any good media? I'm gonna probably go see Avatar tomorrow. I haven't seen it yet.
Is that the one about the blue aliens?
Yep.
It's
I haven't
gonna
seen any
probably
stories
be-
about that.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Is it doing okay?
It made like $1 billion, so I'm sure they're fine. But I
They were
think
saying
it
they
had,
needed $2 billion.
yeah, well, of course.
Don't get over yourself there, buddy.
Yeah, it needed to beat Avengers in order to let poor Jim Cameron afford a sandwich.
Yeah, otherwise he won't be able to go and I don't know, deep sea dive or some shit. So
But he's
So
another
they
one.
have,
So
they
I
have
was
it out
saying,
to what, Avatar 5?
yeah, they got to
Right.
make like 4. But I was gonna say, Cameron is another one. Like he took the money and he did what he wanted. He went undersea scuba diving the same way Nolan builds weird ass cameras. I mean, that's good for those guys.
He didn't go scuba diving, Rob, to the bottom of
scuba diving to the bottom of the Marianas.
He's just
Just
down
hold
there,
your breath,
down there with
buddy.
Yeah.
Yep, he's just down
There's
there
a-
with a little plastic
Talk
mask.
about pressure. You don't know what pressure is till you're there, down at the bottom of the ocean.
It took me 11 hours to sink down here. You know how hard it is to deep dive that long, to free
All my
dive.
bones were crushed 2 miles ago.
It's gonna be really hard to direct Avatar 7 when I'm pudding
Well, no, it's all gonna be filmed at the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
because I
You
can't
don't
come
like
back
it?
up.
Don't be an Avatar. And it's
That's right.
Oh, okay.
All right, gentlemen, we are coming in on the 50-minute mark, so we should say goodbye to the internet.
Goodbye, internet.
Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Chris DeBona.
See ya.
That was episode 654 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Commander Taco Maldo. We'll see you next time if we feel like streaming again. Bye.